Hey guys, John McNamara, host of Runnin Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. If you guys what you see, like, subscribe, follow us on Runnin Vegas podcast. Today, I got my co-host, Mr. Austin Starr. We got a sports pod today.
Let's do it.
Thanks for being on, man.
Of course.
It's been a while.
To be back. It's what, 6 months now?
Time flies.
Yeah.
We got some news, but we're gonna start off. We're going to do my favorite subject, UNLV basketball.
Let's do it.
All right. So what do you think? 2025, 2026 season, what were your thoughts of the season?
It was a mid-year, if I were to put it.
That's a good way. That's a nice way to put it.
I mean, I was expecting a little bit better results at the beginning of the year. And then, towards the middle of the year, you're like, okay, well, change of expectations. And then towards the end of the year, they kind of turned it around and did a little bit better. So I'd probably say the middle of where I expected it to actually be.
Okay. Yeah, probably the same for me. I think this might sound funny, but I think they kind of got lucky getting that on a NIT and get that 18th win. You know, that might not sound, but I feel like bare minimum, you got to get 18 wins to keep your job. And I don't think Josh should have lost his job in the first year. There was a lot that happened. Lost his starting point guard, starting center. It was a tough year. I like the intangibles of Josh, but it was kind of a rough year.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, say the least.
Yeah.
So big news. Dre Gibbs, Longhorn, he's in the portal, and then Mr. Tyron Jones is officially back. We'll see. We still got to get through the portal. I've seen that before.
Yeah, we'll see.
Until somebody on the side offers him something.
Yeah.
But, what are your thoughts with potentially Jones coming back, Gibbs in the portal?
Jones had a good year. I mean, he's staying home, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But with the portal and everything, you never know. I mean, with Trey, he had a great year once he actually got his bearings, and I'm sure coach just had a little conversation with him, be like, "Hey, you got the green light. Just do what you want." Yeah. And then from there, he kind of just took off. But I mean, it's hard to keep anyone here. It seems like Vegas or UNLV right now is a stepping stone for any player that is coming up.
Yeah.
That is like, all right, well, I'll go kill it for a year potentially, and then I'll go in my transfer portal and go make some money. So it's pretty much how it all is going to play out, and I think it's going to continue to play out that way. Yeah. Regardless, unless we get more money.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's actually not a bad move for Gibbs. Test the portal. He's going to be a senior. He probably wants to try to play for a national championship, at least get in the NCAA tournament, make that money, because that opportunity may never come again in his life. So we'll see. But Jones coming back, huge. Because usually, as you know, we usually see a big step from freshman year to sophomore year. It's usually the biggest leap of progress because they're growing up, and he has all the length in the world. He probably just needs to add some size and talk more about his game, because it was so much fun to watch him. If there was one thing, it was Gibbs and Jones, and even though they were winning these big games and then losing kind of these silly games. But Jones it was beautiful basketball, which I haven't seen since you were on the team, back in the day, where a really true, incredibly athlete just playing great basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he's still a little raw in his game, coming into college, and he was good in high school. College, you could tell he's just like a raw athlete. Yeah. Once he actually starts to learn the game, if he can learn the game, I think he can be a really good player in the years coming. Yeah.
Another thing interesting too. Any thoughts? Because Cunningham and Che also went into the portal.
I mean, Cunningham didn't really play a lot this year.
He's known for a shooter. He couldn't shoot.
Exactly. And then Mason, we talked about it. Mason redshirted this year. Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna play out. If he ends up leaving or if he ends up staying, who knows? But I've seen him in high school, and I think that he could be a really good college player. But yeah, and then the point guard, is he transferring now too?
Che, he didn't play last year. So you actually, if you remember this pod, you made some pretty big predictions here. You picked Gibbs to be the best player and I kind of gave you a little slack on it, so I was wrong. You were right. But we were kind of talking about Che, and he was injured, and we weren't sure when he was coming back, and then he just didn't end up playing. Yep. It's a little scary injury because I think he hurt his foot twice. Yeah. So I don't know if this is a UNLV thing pushing him out because they kind of lost the season because it's not his fault. He got injured, but they were depending upon him, and I don't know if it's...
Well, they paid him. He was one of the highest paid players on the team, so if he's not going to play at all, I mean, they're just kind of wasting money, especially money that they don't have.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think it's, do you want a chance that occurring a second year? Because that could cost potentially passing a shop. So I'm kind of curious because I was kind of thinking like Che may come in to Gibbs' role. But then he went into the portal like right away. So.
Yeah, I mean, I broke my foot. I had a Jones fracture my sophomore year in college, and if it's not hard to come back physically, it's hard to come back mentally. So I think, I mean, with a foot injury, it's really difficult because your feet, you're planning and moving and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, the physical aspect's one thing, but then you get to the mental aspect, and I think it's a completely different story, especially when it's twice.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think you just answered my question. So, okay, cool. Mason's coming back. I thought it was kind of interesting. He didn't really play last year, but I do think he's going to be a contributor this year. Is there any other players you're looking forward going to next year? Potentially. I mean, I know like a lot's going to change. I'm probably going to have you back in a month or two, but right now with the core that's going to be back, who else are you kind of interested in the team next year?
I could probably say that the expectation of the team that's here now is not very high. But I'm interested in seeing how, the portal plays out with the recent changes with the junior college and stuff along those lines, that they could probably go get a diamond in the rough, hopefully. I mean, and that's the only shot that they have. Getting a really good player.
I don't mean to interrupt you. What was the recent changes with junior college? I'm not aware.
So it doesn't count against your eligibility for Division I or NCAA.
Okay.
So kids can go to junior college for 2 years, get their associate's degree, and then go and play in the NCAA and not have their clock start. So I think that's probably one of the biggest cheat codes that there is for players nowadays, and there's a stigma on junior college. I went to junior college my second year after I left UNLV. It's one of my favorite years that I've ever played because all it is basketball, and you got school on the side. But I mean, you could get the experience. I mean, you can play against high quality players, and you can go and get another 4 years. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting because, you could be a freshman at 20 years old or, be a senior at 24. There's a big difference between an 18-year-old. And so, teams have to be more savvy because we're seeing a lot of the more experienced teams are actually able to win on a higher level, Cause
let alone NBA players or professional players coming back and playing in college nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's like you got Baylor's, like they brought an overseas player back that played in the league, and it's just there's so many things going on in college that you can't really dictate anything that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's super interesting because even like high school recruiting now has gotten weird as well. There's been less high school recruits because a lot of kind of like what you're saying too. It's like, why are we going to chance adding this high-level freshman recruit because we don't really know how it's going to translate versus if we actually get to see them play, we actually know, or have a better idea of if they translate better or not. So
exactly.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense. The one guy that I thought was super interesting because I was listening to Passner the other day was Diemble, who was supposed to be the starting center for the Rebels last year, and he came out and said, and he's never said this before, is he thought he would have been the number 2 center in the Mountain West last year. So I thought that was super interesting because now half the teams are leaving to the Pac. He's basically saying he's probably going to be the best center in the Mountain West this year if he comes back. I don't know if he's healthy or not, but it sounded like he was super excited about him coming back to the team. I don't know a ton about it. I know his brother played back in the day.
Yeah, Chekna.
Yeah. Great shot blocker. So I thought I'm kind of really interested to see how that progresses. So
yeah, I mean, Chekna was a really good player. He came in the year that I left, but we became pretty cool throughout that summer, right before I went to junior college. But his brother's got a lot of raw talent. When I saw them in practice at the beginning of the year, unfortunately, he got hurt and everything along those lines. So yeah, I mean, it'll be cool. And exciting to see how he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think UNLV has to do to, get to the next level, or what do you want to see here in the future? So ideally.
The only thing that can happen is if they get more money within this, NIL transition and movement through college and stuff along those lines. And, it's created a whole realm. And now that UNLV is not the only team in Vegas, we got an NBA team coming now. We have hockey. We have, Golden Knights. We have the Aces. We have so many teams here that, creating that income for the team is not going to go to basketball.
Yeah.
It's going to go to football now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard. You're going to have to find a lot of kids that can play and know how to play instead of just getting, raw athletic talent, just because it doesn't work if you don't have the money. No,
I agree with you. I think we just need to win, and we've seen it with other Mountain West schools, because it kind of hit me this past year. I'm kind of over it. Been watching UNLV basketball for over 15 years. They were good with the Rice days, but it's just been basically bad for over a decade. I'm they just have to win. But you see New Mexico, you see Reno, Grand Canyon. You see these schools that have built a culture of winning, and they probably don't have higher NIL or probably in the similar range, right? Mm-hmm. Give or take. I think you just gotta you gotta start winning.
Yeah, I think that there's I tell you this, I think there's a difference between athletic and knowing how to play basketball.
Yeah.
And it's two completely different realms of basketball. Knowing the game and knowing how to play goes a lot further than dunking the ball. I'll just say that now. And, getting kids that can shoot, getting kids that can spread the floor. We had this year, the only one that I knew could shoot is Gibbs Lawhorn.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to hone in on that and, take him away, take Jones away, and then you have nothing else.
Right.
We saw teams going zone on us that didn't didn't help us at all with our athleticism because we couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's true. Yeah, and you brought up a phenomenal point. NBA is going to be here. Now it's hey, league basketball kind of had some but now it's either they got to be top 25 or at bare minimum be winning their conference or competing with their conference every year to get folks in there. We see with UNLV football, though, 30,000, 40,000 fans show up for games, and the Raiders are here. So I think the opportunity is there, but you just made a phenomenal point. I think we, in the past, we're trying to go for the upside of every year versus just winning and building that culture and getting the right players in place versus trying to get these players with big names or, so I think on the point, it's just we have to understand, UNLV has to understand what they are now.
Yep.
They're not a national powerhouse. Those days are over. Just win some conference tournaments but overall, how would you grade overall the season?
Like I said, probably C. I'd probably say a C.
C?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say I'm C, C+. You could even go incomplete because Che and Gamble, didn't play, but...
But, that's basketball, right? Things happen. People get injured. But you have to have a team that's going to surround the guys, and I think that's... When you waste a lot of money on one player and you don't have a lot of reserves, then you're just, hell-bent on that. But it doesn't really work that way.
I agree with you. I think next year, no matter what, they got to get at least 22 wins because I'm over it. It doesn't matter if they're injured or not. That's part of any sport, right? Mm-hmm. You got to win. So I'm rooting for Pastner. I like Pastner. What are your thoughts on Pastner?
I think he's good. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of that going for him. As far as X's and O's, I'm not 100% sure. But as any program is any team that you're going to be with, the head coach is just the head coach is the head coach.
Yeah.
They're there for politics. They're there for media. They're there for, being the face of a program. But if you don't have the right assistant coaches that are in the right spots, then it doesn't work.
Right.
So
I'll give him this last year because he got kind of hired late. He'll have potentially a quarter players. He'll have assistant coaches in place. So I'm excited to see. I'm rooting for him because I think he checks most of the boxes. And you're never going to get the perfect coach. But overall, I'm rooting for the guy, and we'll see how next year goes. And I'll have you back, and we'll talk. When the roster is actually together, and we can actually,
let's do it.
All right, I'm excited. Down. All right, so we're moving on to NFL. What'd you think about the offseason.
The Raiders won this offseason, I believe.
Crazy, right?
And then you got now they just got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
On a 5-year deal, but technically a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
That they're only having to put out about $10 million. So it's not that big of a problem. And then you got Fernando Mendoza coming in. You got Max Crosby back. You got an O-line. You got more on the defensive side. So I think that they did a really good job, and I also think that the Rams did a really good job getting some key players to improve their defense. And
McDuffie was a great trade by them. It seems like they're all in this year.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with that 13th pick. Now is the receiver's kind of in question. I could see them getting a receiver there, but. It was a great offseason for so far the Raiders. It's like the Raiders' offseason has just been bad for so long.
Oh, yeah. I was not expecting the types of moves that they made this year.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was so good. But my favorite was Linderbaum, the center, coming over. I think we really, especially a veteran center, who it's one less thing for potentially Mendoza, who's going to potentially be the number 1 pick, most likely. Takes one thing off it, opens up the run game. I liked that. I actually liked the center of last year, but I thought it was more of a guard. Jackson Powers from Oregon. So I think moving him to guard is going to help. But overall, they got some great athletes on defense. What'd you think about the Max Crosby situation, though? The drama.
I think both teams kind of won that deal, right? Ravens get to keep their picks, but they also get a really good edge rusher.
Yeah.
And then Raiders get Crosby back. So
right.
I think that there's a way to restructure that with him, and I know he loves it here. So I think that helps. But I think their defense is really strong this year, and I think that they're really contenders on this side.
I agree with you. I think they're going to be. We'll see if they end up being a top 10, but if they're the mid, it's going to be a huge improvement. But what do you think though? I guess what do you think actually happened though? For the Crosby Ravens, do you think they changed their mind, or they're worried about the meniscus?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely it was a physical, but it wasn't a physical because they can get someone and keep their picks and get a really good edge rusher that was top in the league last year. So
I saw him on the podcast. He's like, I got there and nobody greeted me, and then the GM didn't come out for 5 hours. I'm like, they changed their mind.
Yeah, they did, for sure.
I'm like, I've had a meniscus tear. It's not the end of the world.
No.
It happens.
Yeah. You're back right after that, basically.
Right. Yeah. I also liked, Cousins. Breaking news today is probably the starting quarterback for the beginning year. I love this. It's such a non-Raider move too. It's so smart to bring in a veteran. I know you have the number 1 pick, but let him understand the process. And Mendoza's a very cerebral quarterback. At Cal, he was getting beat up a lot because he didn't really understand that, there was a lot of moving parts off the line. Goes in it, crushes it, obviously, one of the most amazing seasons of all time. And I think Kirk Cousins is just a great fit to help develop Mendoza and give him time. You don't have to play him right away.
It also gives him time to sit down with Brady and kind of pick his brain and not have to, put it into a game situation right away.
Yeah.
I think he has 2 really good quarterback brains to pick from. Whenever he gets here.
Yeah, I was super excited about Kubiak becoming. I thought that was best case scenario being I know he's a coordinator going to head coach. You never know how it's going to go, but his offense was just beautiful to watch last year. Yep. I think the Raiders, they may need to tie some things up with the offensive line, but I feel like the only real glaring hole is maybe that true alpha wide receiver. If you can't maybe trade for Brian Thomas or something this year, you go in the draft next year, whatever it is. It doesn't have to all be figured out this year, right? But it's really interesting because, what a big turnaround for an offseason. So, and I literally like the moves. And a bunch of guys that are kind of, they're in their primes, good contracts. It was just, overall, it was good.
Yep.
But I know so what's your thoughts about Mendoza?
I think he'll be a really good quarterback. I don't know how it's going to be the first year. He didn't play a lot under center last year throughout college, so I think that's going to be one of the biggest keys for him, going into the league. But I think he's the truth. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super cerebral. He's got great size. He's 6'5", 235 pounds. He's unassumingly more athletic than I think people get. I mean, when I saw him
tough.
he's super tough, which I love. He's a super nerd, but he owns it.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I noticed in that Alabama game, I know Alabama's not like the same. He got the edge on them the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, this guy is super underrated as an athlete. So, I'm excited about him too. And I think as of now, they are really doing a lot of good things to build him up. I think they just need that one receiver, but I'm excited. I haven't been excited about Raiders since they got here.
Yeah.
But I know you're a big Steelers fan.
Yep.
So you guys had an offseason this year.
Yeah, we actually made some moves, which is actually kind of crazy.
You guys just draft. That's it.
Yeah. Right, and keep our head coach throughout 30 years maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I think we made some pretty good plays.
Yeah.
You got Pittman coming in.
I love that signing.
Which is a really good on the other side of DK, and I think that we have really good core. But I'm interested in seeing what McCarthy does with our offense. I mean, we're kind of always been defensive minded, and that's what Tomlin was, but our offense has always struggled for the last 8-9 years, which is always tough to watch. I mean, I don't want to watch games that we scored where Boswell's the only one scoring. So
right, that's a rough.
To say the least.
That's a rough Sunday. Another field goal. I think McCarthy's interesting. I think it's a simple offense, but it works. You guys, if you're top 15, maybe fringe top 10, Aaron Rodgers obviously knows that system well. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? Is Aaron Rodgers coming back, or is he potentially going to Denver? I heard some rumblings.
I hope he doesn't come back.
Oh, you don't want to come back? Oh.
That was hard to watch. But once again, like I said, I think that it's with the different offensive scheme. I think it could be a lot better. I think there's a lot more things that happened last year rather than just Aaron, but I think he's a little bit of a prima donna, and he causes a lot of issues, locker room and all that kind of stuff, which you can kind of tell. But we'll see. I just want to win. I don't care who's there. I don't care who's our quarterback, wide receiver. I just want to win. That's kind of just it's a point blank period. Yeah,
it's an interesting fit, Aaron Rodgers for the Steelers quarterback. I didn't think it was that bad, but also I don't like the Arthur Smith offense. It's weird.
I don't like it.
It's they use 3 tight ends, and but if it wasn't Aaron Rodgers, who would you want? Or
I wanted Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis has a huge upside.
I like Malik Willis too.
For where he's actually going to be. I mean, he's with the Dolphins next year, so I don't know if that's going to be a perfect fit for him because the Dolphins don't have that many pieces anymore.
They have nothing.
But I want a mobile quarterback. I've always liked mobile quarterbacks, but that's just my own personal preference.
Yeah, it's more fun to watch.
But exactly.
Yeah.
I don't watch too much, but when I do watch, I really like to enjoy it. So that's hard to do when nothing's happening.
Right. I like Malik Willis too. I was surprised he went to Dolphins. I know one of the coaches was at Green Bay that he worked with, and that's why he went. But then when Waddle got traded to Denver, I'm like, who's he going to throw? I mean, this is one of the worst rosters in the NFL now. And I'm wondering if he's second guessing it because I guess there was interest in Arizona, but they may have we're going to give him a year. But Pittsburgh, like you said, I don't even know if that was a discussion. Maybe Rodgers is already locked in for Steelers, but I feel like that would have been a perfect upgrade because the Steelers, they're always in this weird spot where they're never, they always, if they don't make playoffs, they're 8-8 or 8-9, whatever it is, or 98, right? So they never have a high pick to get that quarterback.
Yeah.
But Malik Willis kind of would have been a good potential. If he sucks in a year, who cares?
Just give us a year or two.
But he has upside to potentially be the guy.
Yep.
I think that would have been a good fit too.
Yeah.
And I liked the Pittman. I think it's a great compliment. I thought that was one of the most underrating.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody talked about it.
None.
And they extended him, but it was perfect. I think he's a perfect compliment to DK because DK he's just not the move changer guy. He's the vertical threat. So to have both, because you could see it in the offense. Okay, we're playing DK. Just make sure he doesn't get the 9 on us. So I love that.
Or get in a fight or get ejected or something like that. Yeah.
So But if you get a slot, I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason was really underrated. So I was excited because you're a huge Steelers fan. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can talk to him about the Steelers.
Yeah, we made some moves.
Yeah. So who do you think is the starting running back for the Steelers next year?
Who do we just get? What's his name?
You got Rico
Dowdle.
You got Warren. Jalen.
I love Warren. He's a very physical running back. I think Warren's probably going to be the starting running back. Yeah. And Dowdle's going to be more like the quicker one. But I mean, you can't. If you start the game and you're just running through people, I think that speaks more volumes for Waddle to be the starter.
Yeah, I like Warren more too.
Yeah.
But they signed. It was interesting because the Dowdle, he's got similar. He may have like a little bit, but it's basically the same numbers. Him and Warren have like $6 million a year or something like that. But everybody's saying Dowdle's the guy. He used to play with McCarthy in Dallas. Yep. But he's a very physical running back. I'm just wondering if the tread has worn off a little bit because Dallas and Carolina, he's had a lot of touches.
Yep.
So we'll see. Because Carolina, it was so beautiful to watch him run. I mean, he was just hitting people. I mean, it was so much fun to watch. But I've seen it too many times where a guy's that physical has too mmany touches, and then he's just not the same back.
The same, yeah.
You know, Ajayi back in the day, Dolphins. Oh, it's beautiful to watch that guy play football. And all of a sudden, he was out of the league.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with you because I think Warren is a better pass catching back, third down back. I think it's probably going to be a 1A, 1B situation, but I think a lot of people just assume Rico's the guy. But they paid Warren last year, and Warren was great last year.
He was a really good running back for us.
He was fun to watch.
Yep.
And then you got Johnson as your third running back. Who knows? I think it's perfect for him to watch those guys because they're both very undrafted, both physical runners. Because Johnson, I don't know, he's got the size, speed, but I don't know if he's that physical. So it might be good for him for a year or two to just watch those guys play football.
I'd agree.
Up that level. So running back room for Steelers is going to be fun to watch this year.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's talk a little bit of real estate.
Let's do it.
So you have moved brokerages a while back, but I haven't seen you since then. So tell us about that, how your year going, what's new?
Good. So I made the move to Sirhan. We kind of launched October of last year. And it's been great. I mean, it's been a very recognizable brand, but not only that, but it's very, they have the resources and the structure that's able for us as agents to kind of go and do our own thing. We have our own studios department, which is really cool. High quality videos, this, that, and the third. But it's been really good for business. So I can't complain. I'm very happy where I'm at.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've been blowing it up. And sale here, sale there. This listing, $1 million listing over there. So it's great to see. You got all this momentum. So congrats to you. Congrats to the move. I know it's been October. We've talked since then. We just haven't had you in the pod, but it seems like it's going really well.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. So what are your goals for the rest of the year? Business, personal? You got any vacations coming up or?
No vacations this year. With the move, I think a lot of things have been, fluctuating and really trying to hit the ground running and make different moves now. And I think the last time we were on the pod, I kind of just was like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And
right. You were hinting on the pod.
Yeah. I'm locked in. I'm going through. Goals for this year, pretty good, pretty high. Very achievable though. And personal, I think we're planning a trip to Japan next year. My girlfriend grew up in Japan. Oh, cool. So we're going to go back out there and kind of visit where she grew up. And I think it'd be really fun. I've never been.
I haven't either. What city or town?
She was in Okinawa for 10 years, but she's traveled all over Japan, so she knows everywhere to go. So
that's gonna be awesome.
Okinawa is like the Hawaii of Japan.
Oh my God, that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, I've read a lot of books on Japan. Just the culture seems like it's amazing. It's definitely a bucket list thing that I want to achieve at some point.
Everyone says that it's like the most beautiful culture that they've ever like immersed themselves in. Yeah,
everybody's polite and nice, and they clean up crazy thoughts here.
Right.
And they all live to like 120 because they eat well and they have community with each other.
Yep.
I can't remember the book now, but it's pretty cool. How's your golf game?
I got to a +1 handicap, so it's been good. I've been playing like once or twice a week. I haven't, not that much, but I've gotten hit a pretty good point in my game. So
yeah, man, you're crushing it everywhere. I love it. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. It's Runnin Big, Austin Starr. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate you.
Of course,
guys. Take care of yourselves today.